Hey, I'm Anita, and today we're back in Twisted Wonderland. You guys seem to love the last one so much, which I'm absolutely thrilled about because I'm so excited to have someone to talk to about this game. So, today I'm going to talk items because I would have loved to have somewhere to go to learn this stuff when I was first playing this game. So, let's see. Let's start here. So, the friendship popcorn and the sugar cubes, I personally would not worry too much about stocking up on them that much. I find that that's probably the easiest part to level up on your cards. So I personally wouldn't go out of my way to stock up on them. If I were you, they'll hand them out quite often, I would say. So if I were you, I would not go out of your way to stock up on those. So the leaping macaroons, I guess that's what they're called, and limelight waffles and the lucky cupcakes, I wouldn't go out of my way to stock up on these either if I were you. They hand them out quite a bit, and I would definitely use them if I get I definitely use all of these if I have them. I'll definitely use them up as soon as I get them, especially depending on what I need leveled up or what item drops I need. But if I were you, I wouldn't go out of my way to level or to stock up on those. They kind of just will hand them out throughout the game, especially if you log in every day. So I wouldn't go out of my way to always be stocked up on them. I just kind of use them when I get them. So these right here, the moon shards, I would go out of my way to stock up on. Here's why. So you need those for the exam area, and especially I didn't find I didn't need it as bad. We'll go with saying that. I didn't need those as bad when at the beginning of the game, but when you get farther in the game, I find it's way harder to get the books. What do they call them? Anyway, the books that help you level up your cards right here. So I would highly suggest that you always try to stock up on those when you can, and always have them handy, because also too, when there's an event, sometimes I think it's usually only for a stamp event. I think they call them stamp events. Sometimes in order to get all the stamps, you need to do so many exams, and these will help you to be able to cross that off in time before the stamp event ends. So the sun shards, I would keep stocked up on these as well, because sometimes, you know, obviously not right now, but sometimes the guest room has an event, will have events where you can get extra drops, and some of those are really hard to get. So I'll actually show you right now. So ones like these aren't too hard, I find, to collect, but these ones right here, these large crystals, are really hard to get. And two, so during an event like Portfest, they had special items that you can only make with special materials, like this paint. So you will want to have some of those saved up for events when things like, or when events like that happen, so that you can get the cool stuff and not get left out or not be able to get the cool item that you want. So I would always be stocked up somewhat. You obviously don't have to have as many as I do. It's a long story. This is probably overkill, but if I were you, I would stock up on some of these. So, star shards. Those, I hoard those and stock up on those as much as I possibly can. Because sometimes for an event, you need to do so many like lessons and stuff, which takes up your HP. Or LP, I guess they call it. And so you will really be wanting and aching for these, especially if some events you have to take so many lessons in order to unlock certain items or unlock chapters or story or characters. So, or all of the above, I guess, depending on the event. So you will need to do so many of these, and you know, it only restores one every 15 minutes, I think it is. So you will want to be, especially if like you want to do the event, but you know, the event ends really early or something happens and you didn't have as much time to like babysit the event. So you will want these for, well, I guess a better way of saying babysit, you know, the timer for LP. So you will want these for sure. So you will want to be stocked up on these, especially if during the event, because some events, they release a character with it. So like Fairy Gala Silver, and the only way to upgrade them sometimes, the spells, you don't use the spells that are dropped normally through the exam or in alchemy right here. You only get them through the event, and too bad there's not an event going on right now. I'll show you. You only get the drops through the event through doing lessons or stamp missions. So you will want these really bad if, you know, like you have your heart set on a character, you know, like Gala Silver or Fairy Silver. I don't know what do they call him. Anyway, so you will want to be stocked up on those so that you can level up that character as much as you can. And even I think sometimes the events require you to level or to have their spell up. I think usually it's like level 5 or something like that, usually around that. So you will definitely want the star shards for situations like that. Alright, let's see what other items do I hoard in this game. I'm a hoarder. A video game hoarder. Is that a thing? Please tell me I'm not alone. Please tell me other people hoard items in video games. Alright, so... did I cover all this? I don't remember. Okay, yeah, I did a few. Okay. Alright, so let's start here. So, the secret snacks. I would keep a couple on hand, personally, and I do. I don't hoard them as much as the blooming honey. I hoard the blooming honey as much as possible. Here's why. So, during a birthday event, you can, it increases the, it makes it, probably a better way of saying it, it makes it better and easier to level up any card from that character. So if it was, so we'll go back to Silver. So if it was Silver's birthday, it's not, but if it was, we're going to pretend it was Silver's birthday today, they'll have, or part of celebrating his birthday, any of his cards would be, they would make it easier for you to level up the card level with the blooming honey. You don't need as many to upgrade that card. See, like all of the top blooming honey here that I have, just doing the max of that to get it to 50 is like 577. And I think to groovify it, which you want to, yeah, you have to reach the card to at least 40. Yeah. So you will want to hoard the blooming honey as much as possible. So I've noticed that I think the last one or two events that they did, it seemed like they made it easier to level up the cards that they released with the event. I want to say, trying to remember. Anyway, so you will want, no matter what, you will want tons of blooming honey on hand. Okay, oh, so the Awakening perfume. I don't use these much personally, very often. I keep maybe like, I do keep some on hand because if I happen to have a rare R card, so like Portfest Floyd, I use those to uncap those if they'll let me. Sometimes the event won't, but I'm pretty sure they did with Floyd. Most of the time they do. I'm pretty sure I did uncap Cater that way. So I do keep a couple on hand for that. Honestly, your random, or not random, not random, sorry, your regular R cards you get from the sorry, my mind went blank for a minute, that you get from the gacha. If you do the gacha enough, they'll uncap. So honestly, I saved them for like special things like I was showing you. I can't find it. Like Portfest Floyd, for things like that, but I don't obsess with getting them. I also keep a couple on hand because sometimes in this area here you can get really cool backgrounds, and I'm pretty sure you can only get them, yeah, with the Awakening perfume. So I keep those on hand for that, but I don't obsess with hoarding those. So the Awakening perfume though for SR, I did at first, when I first started playing the game, I did hoard these like crazy. The more I play the game, I don't as much. I don't need them as much. Yeah, I don't need them as much, but where I'm at the game, I do keep a couple on hand for exactly like I do for the R cards, but I save them for like cards like this that you know, I'm not going to get this in the gacha once the event's over. Well, actually, I think you had to win silver through the event. So, you know, I'm not gonna get silver through the gacha. The fairy gala silver through the gacha. So I save those for that, but I don't really obsess about saving those as much anymore where I'm at the game. What I do obsess about getting when I can is these Awakening perfume for SSR cards. These, it's always a famine for these. This probably right here is the hardest item in the game, at least that I have found, to get. It is really hard to get. I will, when I can, I will actually spend money on getting this item because it is really hard to get, and it can really help you get way farther in leveling up your cards and making them crazy strong. So you can, if you are strapped for money, you can unlock, well, I guess not unlock, uncap a card in the guest room, but it takes a good long it takes a good long while to do that. So when I can, I do stock up a ton on these, and I hoard them like crazy, and I use them very, very wisely. I try to only use them on my most powerful cards because, like, it's the most rare. In my opinion, it's probably one of the most rare items in this game, if not the most rare item to get in these games. Alright, so let's talk about the textbooks. next, I think. Yeah. Yep. All right, so let's talk about the textbooks. So these little, like, what they call notepads, they're pretty much a dime a dozen in my opinion, at least what I found. Comment below if you played this game a lot and, like, are they really that easy to have a ton of? I always seem to have a ton of these. So I don't obsess with hoarding these at all. So I'll show you what I mean. So going here, we go into here. So to get Rugi's first spell to level 10, I need 50 of these and 80 of these, you know. But to get his level, or to get this spell to level 10, or yes, to level 10, I only need 100 of these, which I find is dropped way more often than these and these, like way more often. So if I were you, I would hoard those as much as possible, because you need so many, and that's just that spell too. I only have his spell 2 at level 5, but if I want to get it to 10, I'm gonna need a ton of these and a ton of these, where these, you know, not that much. It doesn't seem right, like right now that's a lot, but it's going to keep going up and up and up and up until every time you do a level to get to level 10. So if I were you, I would stock up on those, and I would not get rid of them. And 2, I would choose wisely. I would choose wisely what cards I use these on. I find him always starving for the fire spells. Comment below if you played this somewhat. Are you always starving for fire spells? I always need the fire ones for some reason. Anyway, okay, so the candies are for groovifying your cards. So say I wanted to groovify Ortho, I haven't yet. I need 5 of these candies to do that. And that's typical of SSR cards. Or you don't need as many candies if the card isn't as top tier. So for Horton, it's only 3. And then it goes down from there. But so I don't obsess, I would say, with buying the by being stocked up on the candies. I wouldn't say they're the easiest things to farm, but I wouldn't say they're definitely the hardest if you do the alchemy classes faithfully. Well, 5 to 10, usually around 5 is about as much. 5 to 10 is about as much as I keep, because if I do that, because if an event comes out and it's like a favorite character of mine or a very strong and a very strong character that I love, I obviously want to groovify them as soon as possible so that I can use the card as soon as possible. The cards aren't as strong unless you groovify them, so I would suggest keeping 5 to 10 of the candies on hand if I were you. I just keep 5 to 10. I wasn't obsessed about keeping those on hand as much. Alright, so I think I've said these are really hard to get, so I would hoard those as much as possible if I were you. All the big ones. All the big crystals for sure. I'd actually kind of hoard up on unique paint personally, because I have found during events, usually, during some events and depending on the item, it usually calls for a lot of unique paint and cloth too. Sometimes they, like I said, they'll have it's specialty item or specialty or special special items you have to get, but sometimes I have found that they ask for the cloth and unique paint that you normally get, that normally drops when an event's not going around. I think that's most of the time what I see. Maybe I've seen stone once or twice. I don't think so. For sure, I've seen the most that it's called for cloth and unique paint. At first I would kind of hoard the paint. As time goes on, you can stock up on it. It's not as hard, I guess, to say to stock up on it, but the paint is hard at first, I found, for me personally, so I would stock up on that. The materials like lumber, sticks, crystals, glass, things like that, they're not as hard to get a hold of as to drop, so I wouldn't worry about hoarding those as much if I were you. Alright, so the stickers. So the stickers are used in the guest room area right here. This helps you uncap your cards. So if I want to, if it kind of helps you speed up the process. So if I wanted to speed up to the character likes different styles per se. So I could give Grim here unique stickers, but he doesn't really, that's not his favorite style. He likes cute and basic. See the little arrows right here? That kind of gives you that hint where these don't have arrows on or where these don't have arrows. So I would hoard the stickers. They will help you quite a bit. Like these items right here, because these are worth more than the stickers. So if I were to give, so I have the gray scarf, and I can increase the friendship level of any of Floyd's cards. So if I were to give this to Floyd, it would really help to unlock or to uncap his whatever card I choose. I'm not really sure, and I don't know if I personally never found and could figure out how these drop per se, any of these. So I would I would use them wisely if I were you. Make sure that that card is the one you want to level up, because these are really hard to get a hold of, that I have found. Alright, so the alchemy tokens. I personally think they're really hard to get because you need to use LP to get them, and you can only get them in the alchemy section, their alchemy class, I guess they call it. So those I find really hard to get enough of. Here, I'll show you. So if you look, looking at the spells, like for Rugi, I needed 50 of these, and it costs 15 to get, and I only have 26. So I find the alchemy tokens some of the hardest personally to get. So I would spend those wisely. Spend the alchemy tokens wisely, because I find them really hard to get, and especially if, like, for some reason you find you need to upgrade a card that you weren't expecting to upgrade, or you're just excited to upgrade a card, it's your favorite character, and you finally got a top tier card for them, you will be throwing a ton of spell books at them. So the exam tokens, I actually did when I first played. When I was first playing and getting started, I did actually hoard these a lot. I don't as much anymore, or I don't worry about hoarding them as much anymore, clearly, because I have quite a bit and I haven't used them yet. I do like to keep them on hand, just because, if I need blooming honey, I can get it. If I need thumb marks, I can get it, which thumb marks, that's another item I would hoard like crazy. I'm finding that I always need thumb marks, however you say that. Hopefully I said that right. I'm always starving for thumb marks. Okay, room tokens. So those I actually would hoard those too, because you have this section here, and I would always have a bunch of those on hand to always keep stocked up on these. I think I forgot to say, I'm trying to remember though, I think one or two of the last events they had, to complete this stamp rally, you had to have to battle so many times in the guest room section, so you will want to keep these on hand for that as well. Too, and I was always starving for materials. I tried to always be stocked up on them too. So these little, like the rabbit plushie here, this is a top tier item, so I always try to get one of these when I can, because they really help level up your guest room. I would not suggest, unless for some reason you really are starving for these materials, I wouldn't spend your room tokens on these. I would spend them at first on your paint, though, for sure. On your paint and on these. I do these first before anything. And then if you have, so spend your tokens on these first, and then if you have extra, spend it on the paint. Especially, I think the unique paint, your life will be easier in this game. So, so the recycling tokens. I would use these when I can. I actually do use these when I can. What those are is, so it's Sam's mystery box. So you go into Sam's mystery box, you can sell any extra items that you have, and you need 100, but, oh shoot. Wrong spot. There we go. You need 100 tokens to do this, but you can sell items. So I personally would sell items that I just have way too many, or I don't use hardly ever at all, or I have too many. So if you just have too many and you're not going to use them in the mystery box, because you can get really good items from them. So if you have like tons of like I have a bunch of, like, if I had a bunch of like character candies laying around that I didn't need, I could put them into here and I could get the chance of getting Awakening Perfume SSR or a magical key. I don't think if I pulled the Awakening Perfume SSR, I think I only did it once. I think I've got a magical key once or twice. But even like a bottle of star shards is really helpful. Sorry. But even like a bottle of like star shards or moon stars or moon shards are really helpful and can get you pretty far. Alright. Oh, so the club tokens. Those are used during events specifically for the guest room. Usually I spend them right away. So, I didn't even know I had that many saved up. So, I think I would hoard those somewhat if I were you. It's not something I've tried per se. I've not tried yet per se, so take that one with a grain of salt. But I think if I were you, I would stock up on those if I can, because sometimes they have really cool rare items, and I haven't seen them cycle through some of them yet, so I don't know if they'll come back or not. So you might want to stock up on these. The magical keys, I would totally go out of my way. I even buy these when I can, because they're not the easiest item in the world to get in the game. They're not the hardest per se. You can exchange, and that's why I would keep quite a few exam tokens on hand, because you can get them, or you can buy them through the exam shop. I would hoard these like crazy, because they'll help you get, or they'll help you a lot in the mirror. Two, I think, yeah, so I always buy the magical key bundle, because they don't drop very often in the game at all. It does kind of feel like, I'm getting rid of my gems, But the keys, you will have I find you have way better luck in the mirror with the keys than you do the gems. So at least me personally, comment below if you've had an opposite experience. But I have found you get way better luck with the keys than you do the gems. So I personally would really stock up on the keys, because especially, you know, the event comes out that your favorite character of all time is there, you will want those keys. I also hoard these as much as possible. These are just probably a step below the Awakening Perfume SSR. They're probably, for me, the hardest item to get in this game. Hoard these like they're going out of style tomorrow because they're really, really hard to get a hold of. I always go out of my way to buy these too, because they're just so hard to get. But if you can take the hit and buy them and stock up on them, I have found that it makes it so much easier to get the character you want in the mirror. So if I were you, I would hoard the magical key set. That's what it's called. What is it called? Forgive me if I get these names wrong. I'm trying so hard not to. The 10 key set, or 10-fold key set, 10-fold key set. I would hoard these like crazy if I were you, because they really, really help in the mirror. I have found personally. So I really hope these help, because I feel like with the winter break celebration, it seems like we're going to have a chance of getting a lot of really hard items. See, I think these are hard, not just hard for me too, items to stock up on. So if I were you, I would take advantage of this personally. This is pretty good. Too, I think I read somewhere that they're going to have better drops, at least in the guest room area. Oh, maybe it's just specialty items. Anyway, though, so I would, if I were you, take advantage of this, because, and hopefully this helps you so you know what to get, even if not for this event, or well, this promotion. I guess they're calling it a promotion. For this promotion, just in general in the game, to know what to prioritize so that you're not like, so me, I would keep running into dead ends and wonder why. I can understand why, like, especially like I would level up characters' vignette levels, but I couldn't understand why I was losing so bad in battles. I'm so embarrassed to share that. Oh well. So hopefully that helps you to, or hopefully, so I hope that helps you, because I sure would have really appreciated knowing this stuff when I first played. And I don't want this game to be frustrating for people. I want people to enjoy it. or even though I wasn't I guess I would say the most gaming savvy with it. I'm not a pro gamer, I just love video games. So, oh, and comment below, so what event are you hoping will come soon to this game? What character are you hoping will have an SSR banner for? Comment below too who your favorite character is in this game if you've played it yet. So if you loved this one, you'll love the next one on screen. See you over there.